Traveling is one of the best experiences of our earthly existence, but not all of us are fortunate enough to get to their chosen destination. Here are the most dangerous types of transportation in the world, ranked from the safest to the deadliest. Fasten your seatbelts and strap on your helmets because you're in for a ride. But first, like and share this video, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Number 8. Airplanes. For those of you who have fear of flying, you may be surprised to know that the most intimidating form of traveling, which is on air, isn't as dangerous as it seems. There are approximately 145,000 flights happening each day all over the world, but the number of fatalities remains significantly lower than the land and water travel. Air accidents have happened throughout history, and that is absolutely terrifying. One of the most frequently used statements used to reassure airline passengers of their safety is that you are more likely to die in your car than you are in an airplane. And according to our research, this is surprisingly true. If you have any flights coming up, don't worry. You'll most likely be just fine. Number 7. Buses. Buses are vehicles that have the capacity to seat 10 people or more, depending on the size. It can be used as a private vehicle or for public transportation. The size of the bus is bigger than most vehicles on the road, which makes it less dangerous for those inside the bus, in case some accident occurs. But I can't say the same for the other vehicle, especially if it's a car or a motorcycle. On average, there are approximately 40 fatalities per year. 25% of them are the drivers and the bus company employees. The fatality rate per billion passenger miles for buses is relatively low. However, this is still 65% more than it is for aviation. Number 6. Trains. Another well-known form of public transportation. Trains take you from point A to point B through a railroad. There are mainline train railroads and underground train systems, also known as the subway. A lot of people in big cities or in the countryside ride the subways and trains to get to work and to get home from work. Mainline railroads claim an average of 876 lives in a year. 490 of these deaths were not in the people in the train, with the people in the vehicles in the grade crossing, and around 100 of them were possibly suicides or people who accidentally fall off the rails. The overall fatality rate for long-haul train service is 0.43 per billion passenger miles, excluding pedestrians and others not on trains. Number 5. Southeast Asia tourist vehicles. Tuk-tuks, tricycles, motorcycle taxis. Those of you who are from or have traveled to Southeast Asia would know exactly what I am talking about. These are the local tourist and commuter vehicles of Southeast Asia, usually powered by a motorcycle and can carry at least 5 people. But don't be surprised if you see more, as this is completely normal and heavily ingrained in Asian culture. Although safety-wise, it probably isn't advisable. These usually colorful and cute modes of transportation can still cause a threat to our safety though, as it can easily topple over when the load is too heavy or when faced with strong rain and winds. So take precaution. If you are a tourist, just ride it to short distances in good weather conditions. Also feel free to tell your driver to slow down if you feel unsafe. You would not want to spend the rest of your vacation injured in a foreign country. We have reached the second half of our list, leading up to more dangerous modes of transportation. Are you ready for this? We are too. But first, don't forget to hit subscribe. And remember, stay curious. Number 4. Boats and ferries. Aside from travel and leisurely cruises, boats and ferries are often used by logistics and shipping solution companies to bring anything from food to much bigger items like vehicles and construction supplies from point A to point B, across the seas and countries. Definitely one of the riskiest modes of transportation. What makes sea travel so risky is that a boat's usual enemy are the forces of nature, such as storms, massive waves, and strong currents. And if you've seen any films on shipwrecks, such as the Titanic, it can be quite deadly. In statistics, the average fatality rate for boats and ferries are 20 deaths per billion miles, making it so much more riskier than traveling by air or train. Number 3. Bicycle. A great sport, form of cardiovascular exercise, and a sustainable option for short distance travel. More and more people are hopping on their bicycles. But it does not come without its risks, especially in major highways and fast lanes. Between the years of 2000 and 2009, an average of 6,000 cyclists or pedestrians have lost their lives on US highways, usually a collision with other vehicles such as motorcycles and cars. Pedestrians and cyclists make up 15% of average highway fatalities. Majority of these fatalities occurred when the victims were hit by automobiles and light trucks. So remember, if you are always on your bicycle, it's best you avoid highways and main roads. But if you absolutely have to pass them, please wear a helmet. Number 2. Cars, light trucks, and SUVs. It's crazy to know that the most basic form of land transportation is also one of the most dangerous, averaging on 3/4 of all highway fatalities. More than half of these deaths are from single vehicle accidents, with no collision to other vehicles. The number of fatal single vehicle crashes is much higher for light trucks, with 66%, than it is for automobiles, with 47%. This is because light trucks, like minivans, pickups, and SUVs, have a relatively higher center of gravity and has a tendency to roll over. A lot of these accidents are highly dependent on several factors. More often than not, high alcohol consumption is a common reason for these deaths. So it's time to take the saying, "Don't drink and drive," to heart. Number 1. Motorcycle. If riding motorcycles aren't your thing and seem a bit dangerous to you, it's because it is. 1 in 10 highway fatalities are of motorcyclists. And trust me, motorcycle crashes are very tragic and spine-tingling indeed. When any collision occurs, a motorcyclist and its passengers are more likely to receive the unlucky side of the coin, especially since they barely have anything to protect them from an injury but a mere helmet and their own clothing. Motorcycles had a fatality rate of 212 per billion passenger miles. By the highest of all modes of transport, a motorcyclist who have traveled 15 miles every day for a year had an astonishing 1 in 860 chance of dying, 29 times the risk for cars and light trucks. Helmets do help save lives, but it doesn't mean you don't risk a chance of getting hurt. Always be aware and keep your eyes on the road when you're on a motorbike. Which mode of transportation on our list scares you the most? Tell us in the comments section. We are signing off for today, but hit that subscribe button and we will see you next time.